Everyone seems to be interested in why I'm getting divorced, so for pickup line tea time today, that's what I'm going to talk about. Now, clearly there is a lot of backstory, and this is just going to be like the very long story short, like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. So Aaron and I have always kind of struggled financially, and we have always barely made it. Let's just put it at that. We've always got it done, but barely. And so then we moved into our most recent house, and he had left a job to try to do a different job. That job wasn't paying him well, and so he ended up falling behind, and we were behind, and he went back to his old job and couldn't catch up, and the mortgage company only wanted the payment in full, and they were not working with him. They were not letting him do a payment plan, so on and so forth. So we eventually foreclosed on the house. And so the weekend that we were moving out of the house that we foreclosed on, he was telling me that he wants to get me pregnant, and I said, absolutely not. This is not the time. We're about to move into my parents' house, and I do not want to be pregnant right now. I don't want to have a baby. Well, lo and behold, that weekend, he got me pregnant. And I just will never believe that it was an accident. He said it was an accident, but I was like, I specifically said, no, I do not.
What? So wait a minute. Let's put this in C students' perspective because, Anton is a little slow, so I always got to break it down from a C student's perspective to make sure that we all on the same page here, okay? I know it's some academic scholars and some people that are much more fluent in breaking down it, but Anton is a C student, lifetime, and so this is how we gonna do it. Y'all poor. You've been poor the whole time, but you've been busting it down for a real one. The one thing that you did do is you got married before you carried. And that's not necessarily for you, that was for the children, because the children are the ones that benefit from having both parents in the household. And more importantly, being able to see how men operate with women and then give them that balance of masculine energy along with the nurturing aspect of it. But y'all got y'all house foreclosed on. How these people are buying houses, even though they poor, I have no idea whatsoever. All right. Neither here nor there. We'll get to that shortly. But then you get pregnant, but it's by accident, even though you was the one participating in it. But it was still by an accident. And then the title of this video was that you're getting divorced because you got pregnant by an accident. And so you mad at him because you got pregnant by an accident. What the hell is we talking about here? Like, are we all on the same page? Do we all hear this story and say, you know what? Do some of y'all just be like, yep, you know what? It was his fault that he got you pregnant by an accident. Honestly, I think that most women are just looking to get out of their situation, even though, they signed up for it, even though they knew who the person was that they got with before they got with him, even though they've been getting pregnant and stuff. I think that the reason why women exponentially file for divorce more than men is because they just get tired of their circumstance and they decide that they want to move on to greener pastures or do something different or find somebody new, or maybe somebody told them that they was cute, or maybe they was on the internet on some social media site and they was down a rabbit hole and they was listening to somebody tell them that they can do better, and so they adopted that for their life. And so if you are a person that obviously don't even contribute to the resources inside of the household, so let's assume that you're a stay-at-home mother, right? Because I think that, if you're a stay-at-home mother, then you also have to make sure that, y'all are moving really meticulously in your budget because you only got one income. And if you are not dealing with somebody that got a significant amount of money, then it also would be conducive for you guys both to probably bring in some form of an income, whether you're working from some job at home or you're doing some gig work or you just doing some secretary work once the kids get old enough to go to school full time or whatever. Like, y'all, first of all, y'all got to stop having kids when you poor in the United States of America, and then you're going to be sitting there complaining about the fact that you poor in the United States of America and you still having kids, but then we don't want to pay for you as a welfare recipient or a SNAP benefit or Section 8 housing. and you poor and you having children out of wedlock. And so y'all got to stop doing that. Well, I don't know how y'all do that. I had one child and I am doing significantly great. And she is a senior in high school. And I be thinking to myself, now I will say that she's extra spoiled, but I'll be thinking to myself, dog, this is super expensive. You ain't even got to college yet. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure that you stay in state and district, but we're going to get to that in a minute. However, the point is that how are y'all making mistakes? Why is it that people that don't have resources make more mistakes than people that don't have resources? They lose more houses, lose more cars, they run up more credit cards, they have more debt, they always messing it up. They get more chances than the law should allow, but then they'll always blame somebody else for their problems, and then they make their situation exponentially worse by leaving. You ain't got no skill set. I ain't hear her say nothing about nan job that she working. All right. Let's hold off for a second. Let's get to it. Let's see if there's more to the story that we need to break down.
I want to be pregnant, so don't you think you would be more careful or whatever? He knew I was not on birth control. We were both aware of what we were doing, clearly, but I just think that we've never had an accident aside from Ella, which, like, again, we knew what we were doing but didn't really want to be pregnant at the time. But in the past 7 years since that happened, we have never gotten pregnant unintentionally. And so I just think it's a weird coincidence that it happened right when we were foreclosing on our house, which makes me feel like it was not an accident and he wanted a reason for me to stick around. Well, joke's on him, I did not stick around because it made me very upset and no longer able to trust him, because I think he did it on purpose.
Do you trust yourself? I'm just saying, I don't even know how people be having sex when they ain't got no money. Like, I'll be apprehensive, ready to get out the house. I'd be trying to find another job, trying to figure out where's some money at. Because you know what? You just ain't comfortable when you cold or you got the man coming to take your house and all of that. It's just not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how y'all just be busting it open for a real one and you ain't got no, you worried about, like, it should be 2, 3 jobs in there somewhere. I don't know. But, and then you punish him by leaving and not getting a divorce when you poor too. Okay. All right.
So that's the very long story short. I'm gonna get hate for that in the comments because people are like, it takes 2 to tango. I'm aware. I'm very aware. I have 4 kids. So I know.
You got 4? You got a 4 ball? And maybe a 5th on the way or a 3rd with the 4th just being born? That's crazy. So wait a minute. You pregnant and you got 4? And throw the whole society away. Throw the whole culture away. Everything is messed up, bro. This is crazy.
What goes down. However, I think that I just will never believe that it was an accident. So I cannot trust him. And that's why I'm getting divorced. But that's the very long story short. If you want to hear more of the lore, just follow me.
We don't. You 4 and poor. Now, I have nothing wrong with people that don't have resources, because there's been times in my life where it's rough out here and rough and tough with your Afro puff. So, you know, I'm not a stranger to struggle. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. I was in Detroit in 2008 and people was fighting over the bee suit. You know, the bee suit where they be twirling the stuff on the outside because it was outside of a flower shop. Yeah, a lot of people was fighting over the bee suit. They was applying to get the bee suit job, and it was rough. It was really, really rough out here. So I'm no stranger to trying to figure out what to do. But good God, 4? And you ain't never been up? Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments of this woman getting divorced because they are getting foreclosed on and pregnant again and poor. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.